Hey, gorillas, fellow gorillas, thank you for joining. It is 5 months since we got this all started. We first set up our GoFundMe account on March 29th. If you look at some of the statistics there, I think the US had like a couple thousand cases, and now we're at how many? We're at like a quarter of the world's COVID cases now. So much has happened, and it's so funny that we're all connected somehow now. A lot of the people here, we haven't met and weren't connected before this Guerrilla Mass movement, but now it's the culmination of a lot of different talent, a lot of different passions and perspectives that are working together to help this community and what's going on in our backyard. And so thank you everyone for joining. When we first got started, we didn't know it was going to turn into this at all. It was trying to get some money donated for my wife Carol's hospital, and that was it. And we thought that GoFundMe thing would last like 2-3 weeks and we'd be done with it. And now it's 5 months after, and I've had a discussion with each and every one of you about like whether we should continue doing this or not. And we've gone back and forth on this many different times, and was thinking, let's wrap it up. We gotta focus on our families and our businesses. I think all of you guys have motivated me into wanting to make sure that this keeps going. And even when I was like thinking we should put it to bed, you guys have motivated me to keep it going. And ultimately, I think it's all of us are so passionate about doing something. We're not the type of people when the pressure gets hot and there's a lot of stress that we just sort of go hide and wait for someone to take care of it. The first media recording that we ever did was with Ron. 2 months after, Ron and I are just like running with this GMM thing, trying to make things happen, that we like just we're on the phone and we're going, hey, what do you do? What do you do, Ron? And it's like, what do you do, Henry? And we finally like started to get to know each other, right? But it's so funny how causes like these can get the people from the furthest sides of the world and of the city that we wouldn't have ever met come together because we're passionate about something, And that's what I love about this, right? This is what I love about
Roger. One of our former clients reached out and said, hey, listen, you got to meet Henry. We're doing this cool thing for people in need of PPEs, frontline workers, et cetera. And I love Roger implicitly. He didn't have to say any more. After meeting you on that, I mean, needless to say, we're all brothers from another mother is what it really amounted to. And every single person that I've met. I am a career and executive coach along with recruiting, work with a lot of technical folks and non-technical folks. We've created a platform that's a village to bring people into. We help people that are underserved as well as executives, et cetera. And so basically, this is an opportunity for me and my team to continue doing what we love doing, and that's making a difference on the planet. And I loved your story, loved your cause, and at that juncture, it's just like, how can we help? And I recall, I think one of the first big things we did was with David Rue. You, Ryan, Wendy, and I were out doing a whole mass collection for SEIU 2015. And as I started getting my brain around it, I saw the opportunity for us to go, hey, listen, all of these different groups have media platforms, whether it's social media, blogs, whether they leverage television or not, but collectively between these organizations that are being helped, the consortium of companies that are in the GMMC movement, this stuff can all be strung together and actually pushed out there as a unit. And so part of my initiative has been, how do we leverage it? Just like I leveraged LinkedIn, how do we leverage this as a voice? It's like herding cats, don't get me wrong, but getting everybody together to broadcast a message, whatever that is kind of the mission that I and we are on. And then what's really cool is I've seen the metamorphosis from the immediate response from, hey, COVID hit, let's get going, delivering masks, to we've now revamped, kind of looking around. The PPE crisis is not as high right now. It will go back up. But we're now going, how do we help from some other resources? Hand sanitizers, masks, building shelters, facilitating. And what I love about this consortium of thought leaders is it's not really just about PPEs, it's about how do we contribute to the society we live in. And that right there, I'm super excited about, and it's certainly an honor and a pleasure to be associated with you and everyone on the team.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. And just the amount of connections you've provided is so appreciated. You introduced us to Lindy, to Kylie. Lindy, you set up a whole website for us. We haven't launched it yet, but it looks beautiful, and can't wait for it to go. And just the pure amount of ideas you've got, Ron. You're an idea man. I love it. I love it. The creative power we have in this group is amazing.
Obviously, to get supplies to the underserved, the supply chain has been a critical part of what GMM has had to work through. And unfortunately, one of the things we've seen as so many products have been sourced from around the world so quickly is that the quality of some of those has been subpar or outright fraudulent. And so becoming unqualified experts in figuring out what stuff is good in a non-lab environment to make sure that when we're providing, whether it's masks or hand sanitizers or whatever it is to those folks who need it, that it's offering the level of protection that they've come to expect. And in just the last several weeks, we've seen recalls on 30 plus hand sanitizer products that turns out cause more harm than good, containing lethal levels of methanol. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. And so the last thing we want to do is be introducing products to our clientele, the underserved, the people who need it, that are going to cause harm.
Yeah, and I remember when Ryan first joined, that whole quality control thing was new to you, but then the sheer amount of contacts you had for supply was like, what? Like, you're able to get it? You're able to get the supply for what price? He's like, yeah, I know this guy. Your network is tremendous, and so thanks for taking over the supply chain. We have such great contacts and an abundant amount of suppliers.
Lindy Bostrom of Bostrom Graphics, and I have a company that does branding, design, and websites. So this is a natural. I've been working for many years for Coach Ron Nash, so I was really happy when he introduced me to you and the GMM cause. I like to focus on companies that are making a difference in the world, and specifically towards health and wellness and environmentalism. So this is a great fit, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. As far as the website, a website is never just a website, right? It's a communication tool. So when we talk about what we're doing, and this video right here is part of that, we want to be clear to people who want to get involved with us, and we would love that, so that we can explain it clearly as we evolve. We recently came up with a tagline, which is disrupting barriers for people in need. And so that kind of sums it up in a sentence. But we are working to get this website launched so that we'll be able to put it out there and communicate with people who are interested in knowing more about us. So that's about all for me. I think it's a short, sweet little comment there.
And thank you so much for the better tagline. Just so everyone knows, when we first started 5 months ago, it was called getting PPE to HCWs.
That was how you started. That was how it started. It was very specific, and now we have broadened. And I think the main message is that we're not going to get stuck in a lot of red tape. We want to create action when it's really needed.
Yeah.
One of the few. I'm not going to say I'm one of the original members. I work with Henry at 3GC Group. And I just remember him saying one day, like, hey, we need to get masks. My wife is out there and they're reusing masks, and we need to do something to help the frontline healthcare workers. So he said, hey, John, can anybody help us out? And so he had 3,000 masks that he and Gene had bought with their own money. I was thinking actually that there'd be some boxes and we'd sit in a room with, our own PPE gear on and distribute these out and put them in little packages and send them out to the healthcare agents. And that was it, like one weekend. Sure, I'll help you out. I'll help you send some of these things out. I thought it'd be like a weekend's worth of work. And, who would have known it's 5 months later and we've probably touched tens of thousands of masks, multiple shipments across the United States and all around California and in the Los Angeles area to get PPE into the hands of what we called our healthcare workers or our frontline agents. And I don't think it's been a while since we called them the frontline agents, but we call them that because we were thinking they're guerrilla agents, right? They're undercover. They can't get it from their hospital. So we're going to go beneath the wire, guerrilla style, under the radar, and get them the PPE gear that they need so that they can do their job in a safe way. We've come a long way, and it's been 5 months. I can't believe it.
What you've learned, and you've known Henry for longer than I, Henry doesn't think small, and it's always like, what's the most we can do? So 5 months later, thousands and thousands of masks. That's actually a funny story. Wow.
Yeah. We were working with the agents, but we also realized that we had limitations in our own ability, and infrastructure to roll out, masks in the quantities that need to be rolled out. So we started then working with, larger quantities. Instead of breaking down big boxes, we had to find a way to ship those big boxes and just give them to whole organizations that could distribute them better. So I'm going to hand it over to Kylie, because I think she's been working with our homeless shelter people and can talk more about how we do that.
Yes, hi, I'm Kylie. I was really excited to join this group because when all of this started, as Henry said, I'm one of those doer kind of people, and I felt very helpless and didn't know how to help and very much wanted to. So through knowing Ron, I was introduced to this group. It's evolved from just PPE to, like Lindy said, disrupting barriers for the underserved. So we also partnered with Niagara Water, and were able to donate cases of water. We donated 50 cases of water to the Union Station Homeless Services, and they are located in Pasadena, but they serve the entire San Gabriel Valley, and they've been around for 45 plus years. They focus on assisting the homeless and very low income adults and families. So they do that through outreach, bridge housing, permanent supportive housing, and they also help with community reintegration. So we were able to donate masks to them previously as well. And then being able to donate the water was really great because that's something that they obviously need. We need water to survive. But the water that we donated was going to be going to, kind of encampments that are kind of a little off from the real world, I can say. But, we can keep them protected with the masks and keep them hydrated in the summer heat because we've had a crazy heat wave. So being able to donate water was very important.
Kylie, what do you continue to do with the group right now? I mean, now that you're involved, there's a lot going on. What else are you doing?
I have helped with social media a little bit here and there. And then I'm actually really excited to get more involved with the projects that we have coming up that we're looking to try to do with helping the unhoused community more, because I'm very passionate about wanting to help with that.
Awesome, cool. Wendy, you've been around for quite a while. I mean, you were around before me, and then I met you out in the field. Talk a little bit about your involvement.
Yeah, so I'm Wendy Liu. I'm a partner at Vaco Staffing and have been a friend and business partner of Henry's for over 5 years now. And how I got involved was I saw Guerrilla Mask Movement about Henry's story. I know his wife Carol as well. My best friend, she also works in the ER and was low on PPE supplies. So I was telling Henry, hey, can we help my girlfriend out? She's in a hospital in downtown LA. He said, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, by the way, would you like to get involved? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to help, but what can I do? So the first project was going out in the field with you, Ron, and the team, and passing out masks. I wanted to just volunteer like manual labor to help distribute masks. And then later on found out that we had all the shipments going into a warehouse in El Monte, and the house manager only speaks Mandarin. So I was like, hey, I can help translate. So I became the default translator and was working with John. Like you all know, we all have our jobs, our daytime jobs. We all come from all walks of life. John and I have had countless meetings Friday afternoon. We're like beat up in the war, in the battlefield Monday through Friday, and it'd be like 3 o'clock on a Friday, like, oh man, how you doing? Like, all right, let's talk about follow-up. So I'd be like making my client calls and calling the warehouse, talking to Mandarin. My mom doesn't speak English that well, but she hears me talking to Mandarin. She's like, hey, Wendy, did you change careers in logistics or freight forwarding? I was like, no. I'm just volunteering with the group right now. So, it was just many weeks of trying to coordinate logistics, and figure out how to distribute a beautiful package that John, you came up with an idea.
There's no way we could have done those shipments without your help. Really, 谢谢.
不用客气. So, I mean, that's how it really started. I love how there's so many people involved. We had restaurateurs, we have executives. I mean, we have you, Ron, and you, Kylie. So, I mean, just bringing all these people together is such a beautiful thing for, one cause, and, just to help out. So I had a conversation with Henry last week. I said, look, whatever it is, I've built my trust with you. Wherever you guys want to go, I'm there with you. I would love to help further in helping the unhoused community in building homes, whether it's manual, support, physical, just media, whatever it may be. I'm here with you all. So look forward to what's the next chapter of GMM.
That's awesome. It's interesting.
Justin.
I think your energy and the energy everybody here is kind of what this is all about, because it is really how can we help, and GMM is that kind of a thought process. It's more than just product. It's how can we help. So thank you. Justin, you're up close in front. First of all, how long have you known Henry, and then how did you get involved with this?
I've been around since around the same time John and Wendy got involved, although like Wendy was saying, I was hoping to just be more manual labor and go tell me what to do. It hasn't turned out that way. It's more turned out that John and Wendy have been doing everything. No, not really, but a lot of it. So I would call myself a newly committed member of GMM, though, in terms of my contributions to the program itself. So I did hear about it originally. At that time, my impetus for kind of being peripherally involved and now fully involved is much the same as all my colleagues. Wendy said a number of reasons. There's diversity. Not just the diversity that you think of when people use that word today. It's really a diversity of thought leadership as well, because we have so many different types of people involved. That's huge. And I've learned a lot just listening to these folks, and just being very impressed with the level of the commitment from the members. Like I said, I was kind of giving John and Wendy props, but I know that, everybody here today has spent countless hours trying to help other people. And lastly, that would be, my main thing is how do we help other people, but get around all this bureaucracy and nonsense that prevents these people from getting the funding, the supplies, the housing that's needed, and that's available and that they have access to, So that's why I think, I need to spend more time with this. I recently have been re-employed. I'm Chief Digital and Innovations Officer for a company called APMEX. So in a weird way, that actually gives me more time to spend with the movement and also bring in, a whole new network and a whole new company into the movement as well. So that's what I'm excited about. I love how it's a no politics movement. We're very careful about that. We're very careful about vetting the recipients, not just on whether are they, a real organization and people who really need it are going to get it, but finding those new opportunities through those engagements and interactions as well, like the housing, like the anti-racism stuff that we've been talking about in the past few weeks. So that's the next wave that I'm excited about being involved in. the current wave. And just let me know. The truck's ready to go. I'm ready to take stuff to people wherever they need it.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Justin. I'm so excited for you to be on there. You know, aside from John, and he is OG, the other OG member is Joyce, and she's been with us from like the beginning too. And I'm so curious to see your perspective, Joyce. Like, what'd you think? Like,
yeah, when I first heard of what you were planning to do, like you and Jane, it was even before this movement has a name. I felt really excited. I was just shy to, volunteer and raise my hand during the company's morning call. But I was really glad when you called me out to participate with John. When I first started working on it, the first few months were, it was really challenging. And there came a point where I became worried if we'll be able to make it, with a growing list of frontliners that are requesting for masks, and we didn't have enough supply and not much funding as we hoped for. Volunteers that come and go, and we didn't know who'll be there until the end. But I believe that everyone wanted nothing more but to see it through. So yeah, thank you to you and to the rest of the group for all of the quick and smart decisions that you've made. Now we can say that we did it and we are evolving, and I'm just glad that you gave me a chance to be a part of all this.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful, Joyce. And whenever we put these events on, I don't know how they do it, but Joyce, Mary, Shane, and Kiyomi, they make these events just happen, and it comes together somehow. But it's really them that's putting it on. They're always behind the scenes, so modest, and they don't like the spotlight. But thank you so much. Yeah, Mary, Shane.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm from 3GC Group and I am one of the GMM admin. And I really see the value of the movement, and I'm helping Guerrilla Mass Movement with video editing and social media posting through Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. When I saw the fundraising website, I was thinking that I want to do something. I want to do something for this, for this movement. I really see the value of it. So yeah, I hope that we reach more people who are willing to help and needing help through our social media posting. And GMM has done 3 big projects for the past 5 months, which are masks for healthcare workers in need. And the great thing about the GMM, we made sure that we provide medical graded or polythene masks. And through the help of Guerrilla Mass agents, donation with SEIU 2015, Leisure Court, and CAT, we were able to distribute the masks to those people in need. And as we speak, we have ongoing project as well, which is homemade mask donations. So please let us spread the word. We can share the post on our Facebook page. I am the newest addition to the group, and on the videos, I have seen the dedication of the team. Given the fact that during this pandemic, we have our personal things that we need to deal on. And seeing this team being passionate with helping other people in need despite of busy schedule makes me realize that nothing is impossible to a willing heart. So, yep, I'm more than happy to help this team in any way that I can.
Thank you so much. And we didn't know how good Mary Shane was with the video editing. It's so amazing. It's like professional video editing, and we didn't even, Big round of applause for Mary Shane. I mean, it is, and I saved the best for last. Kiyomi is my work wife. That's the best way to put it, right? And she was sort of forced into this just because I'm part of it. And I'm so curious to see what you think. Like, what were you thinking, when you started getting involved in this? And
forced into this.
Yeah.
Just joking. First, I heard about GMM, so I thought Guerrilla is like what, ambush or something, ambushing the soldiers. So it was a nice choice of title or a name for a movement. But then I read about it that it started with a family member needing something, and then it evolved into donating to frontliners all around the US. Then I felt happy that I can contribute to this movement. as I can see, when I started, Joyce was the one who introduced it to me, the things to coordinate with and stuff like that. But I saw value in it, that I felt that I like what I'm doing. I'm helping people through GMM, and it doesn't feel like work. I'm supporting like LCNC, the nursing center, and then we just donated to them the mask. It's hard to coordinate because of some stuff that arise on the spot, but I still push forward to doing it because I know it can affect lives. Also, what Kylie said regarding the water donation in Union Station, it was a homeless shelter organization, and it feels good that GMM can help not just in one corporation, but all of you, coordinating, collaborating with each other to make an effect in this world. It's been great.
That's awesome. We're all doers. We're all people who are very accountable to make sure that things get done. And so really appreciate everyone coming on.